It's quite amazing how much you learn about people if you're just around them consistently. How much you learn about, one-to-one interactions or like facial expressions or how you operate in space versus how other people do. This is stuff growing up when you're in constant social spaces that you just have no fucking idea is happening, but it's so important and you take it for granted for that reason. Trying to get better at standing closer to people, making eye contact. It's kind of like when I'm playing League and talking on the phone or like in Discord. If there's some shit going on in the game, my mouth shuts off. I cannot talk and focus. If my mouth stays on, I die in the game. I get killed, I throw the game, teammates mad, everybody typing, screens black and white, my little Teemo avatar is on the ground, just a corpse. Horrible, it's truly horrible, terrifying stuff. My husband is away at war. I hope he's not doing any crimes. But this is America. This is America. Don't catch me slipping now. Veteran wife singing Childish Gambino. Don't put that on your, didn't have that on my bingo card for 2024. Hi everyone, welcome to the show. I got this new thing on my phone that lets me see myself. Oh, can you see it? Hi. Sorry guys, we'll start in a second. I just have to text my girlfriend real quick. She goes to a different school. And send. Okay, good morning, or whatever time it is. It's no time. I know the frontal lobe thing is mostly a myth, or it's kind of over-exaggerated. There isn't a specific point at which your brain fully develops. It will keep developing beyond age 25 or 26, whenever they say that is. I'm 26. I turned 26 in November. I turned 27 in November. This November, that is, because I'm 26 now. In case you hadn't heard, I'm 26. To me, outside of going from being a baby that literally knows dog shit, doesn't know anything, to being an adult, there's obviously a biological process there of getting smarter or having the capabilities to be smarter. But also, that smartness hinges upon your environment. A baby that grows up all 18 years to adulthood while only watching Coco Melon 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, is going to be way smarter than me and most of you. For me, personally, I think spending 99% of your time playing sports as a youth does get in the way of your studies. Even though I was studying, my actual intellectual curiosity was so I didn't really have time to do any of that crap because I was too busy on the grind, rising and grinding, 7 a.m., 3 a.m., 1 a.m., cold showers, books in school and things like that. Obviously you pick up some knowledge, you pick up some things, you learn about history, you learn a little bit about math. I can figure out, what time it is if I want to call someone that lives in England. I can figure out what time is socially appropriate to do that because I went to math class. However, I personally feel like the most important type of learning that you do in life, at least to me right now, is social learning. Is learning about how to be around other people, how to interact with them, how to build things together, how to collaborate, how to have a good time. I also think the real big decisions you make in life are centered around people, Like if you want to choose a job, or if you want to go move across the country, or you just want to... Oh my God, I just watched the mail truck almost get rammed by a semi, or a mini semi. Maybe you see it right there. That was intense. Hope they're okay. Is the milkman also the mailman? Because there's no more milkman, there's just a mailman. So did they pick up the milk journey? I was just picturing the semi ramming it, and not only mail flying out hilariously like a scene from a Ghibli movie, but also milk and glass spraying everywhere. And I thought, oh, that's quaint. Oh, isn't that quaint? The COVID-19 pandemic and social anxiety, which compounded upon one another. COVID made my anxiety worse. My anxiety made COVID worse. That's what they all said. These things inhibited my ability to learn about people because I just wasn't around people, because the easy choice is to stay inside and to hang out with your friends on Discord, if you're even doing that. That was still even a rare occasion. The only things that brought us together truly were Among Us and not even League of Legends. I played League of Legends alone for most of the time, but Among Us. That was the highlight of my 20s, baby. Your 20s, you're supposed to look back on it. What do the old people say? Your 20s are the best time of your life. You're gonna remember your youth. That was just Among Us. And going to the gas station on the corner to get a Cadbury Caramello bar. So yeah, it's pretty lit. Fucking sucks, man. The time suck that is. The life suck, rather. It's not just time. It's like fully your life getting the spin cycle 9,000. And doesn't feel good. It feels like nothing in the moment when all that time is passing and you're not around people. But now I look back, I guess with the context of this year, I've been trying to be more social. I've been just saying yes to stuff, which is not as simple as it sounds at all. There's like a lot of circumstantial things that leads me to being comfortable enough to being able to say yes to stuff. Almost like a toxic social butterfly phase where I'm like, do it even though you really don't want to. Get out of bed, you little Flappy Bird Candy Crush slut. I don't play those games, but I think you get what I mean. Just rotting. It's okay to rot as a treat, but the rotting has to be interspersed between other stuff in your life. And that's one thing that I've learned. But trying to get around to the point that I spent a lot more time being social this year, and just about 6 months of that has opened up my brain and mind into a context that all that time that I spent by myself, I wasn't learning. I wasn't growing. Doesn't matter how many books you read. Well, okay, reading's cool. Learn what you want. But for my priorities in life right now, and for I think long-term stuff, relationships, staying connected with family, going to have an activity and have a laugh and get a burger or something, get a fry, borrow a fry from a friend, tell them I'll give you this back in 5 to 7 business days. Oh, that just reminded me that I shipped an Amazon package to an Airbnb in New York, and then I asked them to return it, and they never texted me back, and it was an SSD. It's an expensive piece of technology. So I'm thinking they just took it. Am I gonna call the police? Probably not. Anyways, what was I saying? For those among us that deal with all sorts of fun brain stuff like ADHD, autism, a little sprinkle of this, a little sprinkle of that, depression, bipolar, BPD, DPD, DP, director of photography, DP, double presentation. You go for a PowerPoint in school and then you have another one. It's a double presentation. Yo, this is what I'm talking about the frontal lobe, bro. I'm 26 and 27 in November. I just think being smarter is overrated, because the moment you are smarter, that's also the opportunity where you could think that you are smarter. Obviously, being smarter is one thing, but acknowledging and understanding that you're smarter, that's where you run into some issues. That's a cycle. What is it called? Belginger's glurb, where you're dumb, but you think you're smart, and you learn a little bit, and you think you're dumb, and then you learn some more, and then you slowly gain confidence in your abilities because you actually have a deep understanding of whatever it is. For me, that's a cycle in life. Maybe if it's a specific topic, like if it's your PhD, that makes sense. But for life, general understanding of the world, sometimes I'm like, I got this. I know what the fuck is going on. I know how to do this. I know how to do that. I know how to be social. I know how to live. I know what a good life looks like. When in reality, I'm inside playing Among Us. And that's it. And then eventually you start discovering, oh, I don't know. I don't actually really know what's going on. I thought I had it all figured out, but I didn't. And then that part feels pretty shitty. And then slowly, as you start to figure things out, whatever it is in your local context, with work, with school, with family, with friends, with your interests, you gain confidence in, like, I guess, a sense of identity, a sense of how you want to operate in the world and affect people and yourself. But then at a certain point, that gets stagnant. You're in the thing that you're in, and you feel like you're smart, but circumstances change, and we start down the slope again. Hopefully you can stay in the ignorance phase while not knowing anything. Wait, that would mean you go back. See, maybe I didn't really do that much math. I know 1 through 10, but beyond that, we've run into some problems. But I guess what I'm trying to say is it's just a cycle of thinking you have it figured out, realizing you don't have it figured out, figuring it out, knowing you have it figured out and living life, and then slowly discovering that actually things have changed and you don't have it figured out. It's the dumb to smart cycle. It's the stupid little baby, dumb baby, to genius, smart genius, level 100 mafia boss cycle. And that's where the whole frontal lobe thing comes in. That's just one potential marker for people to fill their little holes up with some type of confidence that they now have it figured out. I don't think that's how people actually take the frontal lobe thing. Basically, there's no such thing. That's my case, the science. There's no frontal lobe. It's just a brain. Quit being picky about it. It's just a big pink worm guy that's all raveled up and stressed. Now, if we're going to steel man the case for the frontal lobe, i.e. that you actually do get smarter over time, is that each time you go through that cycle, you learn a little bit about the cycle and you start to recognize it. The trouble is, if you have a bad memory, that's where things get a little sticky. For me, I have a bad memory, I have ADHD, I have depression, I've got the full gamut. And it's a little stressful when you think back onto like your life and you say, oh, I went through all this stuff, I learned a lesson there, don't remember what it was, so now maybe I'll go through that again. Maybe I'll just keep doing that again and again. And I should probably write it down. I should probably record a video about it. Maybe that's good that I do that. I don't ever go back and watch them. But it's a scary thought. I don't know. Do you guys ever get stressed about that if you have ADHD and like memory issues? Do you get stressed about the idea that your life is a perpetual cycle of being a little bit silly and not really knowing how to figure it out? Because I got that shit going on. I haven't read a book in fucking way too long. I've tried. I read Berserk, which isn't a book. It's a graphic. It's a comic. Manga. That was a really good experience. I was asked recently if there was a piece of art that changed me in a very deep way, or that really resonated with me, and I didn't come up with an answer, and that stressed me out a lot that I didn't have an answer. But Berserk, I think, is probably one of the recent ones that made me go, wow, that's me in this comic. He is me. The reason I started thinking about this topic, about growing older and trying to learn lessons and the frontal lobe thing, is I remember being like 17 and reading, maybe it was Plato, whichever one of these fuckers said, the person who knows everything knows that to know something is to know that you know nothing. Someone fill in the blanks on that. And I remember thinking, damn, true as fuck. I'm dumb. I am an idiot. I'm a dumb guy. And I'm gonna stay with that acknowledgement forever. I'm not gonna think that I know anything, even if I know anything. I remember thinking that. And then very soon after, reverting back to, wow, I'm like the #1 genius of history in the world. And that is troubling because the lesson there is true. You know, it's just humility. But for whatever reason, that didn't stick. For whatever reason, my personality or my mind slowly just grows in confidence until I do dumb shit, and then it resets. That's pretty normal. I think that's probably fairly normal. I don't mean to single myself out in that regard, but I do just think it's funny. I think it's funny. That's it. I think it's funny. Recently, I was in a context for an extended period of time of social exposure. Continuous social exposure for like 2 weeks. And I've kind of been doing that interspersedly over the last few months. And I feel like it's quite amazing how much you learn about people if you're just around them consistently. How much you learn about, one-to-one interactions, or like facial expressions, or how you operate in space versus how other people do. This is stuff growing up when you're in constant social spaces that you just have no fucking idea is happening, but it's so important and you take it for granted for that reason. Maybe if there wasn't a period of like full isolation and social anxiety for a lot of my life, post-structural social areas, I wouldn't think that I've taken it for granted. I would say, oh, that's just like a normal thing. But I feel like it's a common experience. Leaving school, leaving sports, whatever clubs, shared activities, and going kind of off on your own, where over time you're just exposed to people less and less. It takes more effort to get people to go out and do things. If you can find close friends or a partner or family where you're able to do that, where it's smooth process to do that, that's ideal. But that's rare from what I've talked to people, it seems like. Maybe I just have a very shut-in type audience, which I think I do, because I'm a shut-in and I talk about it all the time. And that's fine. But it is increasingly rare with blah, 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 third places destroyed, blah, 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 internet, blah, 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 phone, throw it in the trash, blah, blah, blah. You all know this shit. Another thing that's interesting is watching footage of myself interacting with people and realizing how different I act socially from how I feel that I act and from how I feel like other people act, which is admittedly unique. It's not often that you film yourself hanging out with people, but I have recently, and there's a few things I noticed that were interesting. Try this at home. Set up a surveillance camera in you and your boyfriend's apartment while you're arguing or something, and then play it back on America's Funniest Home Videos. See if you get some clicks for that. See if you go viral. What I noticed is I really have trouble with eye contact, and I kind of turn my body away from people when we're doing something. There's some people I've met that are so like stand close, eye contact, hand gestures, things like that. I'm so far on the end of the spectrum, but I had no idea that that was the case. And I watch it, I'm like, why would anyone ever like hanging out with someone like this? It seems like I don't like being there with this person. Even though I get home, I'm like, oh, that was so great, hanging out with whoever. That was so fun. Or I get home from a date, I'm like, oh, that went so well. It was so la 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 la. But then I know if I watch footage back of it, it would just be like, oh, this person clearly does not want to be there. Like, this person clearly is not having fun and doesn't even like the person they're talking to. But I do. I haven't gotten checked. I haven't done the autism testing. I think I think that's probably something. There's probably something there. Or it could be a product of the thing I'm talking about, where it's a lack of kind of social contact over time. The best part is I don't know, and I'll maybe never know. The even better part, the genuinely good part, I was being sarcastic there when I said that, is that I've managed to keep some relationships while being generally off-putting from my perspective. So only up from here then. If I manage that, we fuck it, we ball. It's not Jover. We're so back. But I'll notice in vlogs, I'm like, why can't I reciprocate when someone's like, why don't I laugh? Like, in my head, I'm like, oh, that person says something's funny, I'm gonna say something back. But I don't stop to laugh. What the fuck is up with that? It's odd, you know? Just gotta laugh more, I gotta smile more, you're gorgeous. People get mad at me when I say smile more, you're gorgeous. And I spell your, Y-O-U-R, like your, like, oh, that's you're gorgeous. But I think it's way funnier because it's like a guy that like is just like weird, being weird and horny and a perv and like a kind of like patronizing. He's like, you should smile more, you're gorgeous, haha, with like some emoji. It's way funnier if you just put Y-O-U-R, to me. So stop correcting me on that, please, thank you. Just kidding. Well, already correcting people on grammar on the internet is sickening. It's the worst thing you can do in history. So anyways, what were we talking about? Being social, being smart. Social smartness is higher on the priority list. No book reading, only face reading. Trying to get better at standing closer to people, making eye contact. It's kind of like when I'm playing League and talking on the phone or like in Discord. If there's some shit going on in the game, my mouth shuts off. I cannot talk and focus. If my mouth stays on, I die in the game. I get killed, I throw the game, teammates mad, everybody typing, screens black and white, my little Teemo avatar is on the ground, just a corpse. Horrible, it's truly horrible, terrifying stuff. But I feel the same way about eye contact. If someone's looking at me and I'm looking at them for too long, I can't keep my train of thought going. I have to look down or look away. I don't know how to train. I'm sure there's tutorials on all this stuff. I just haven't looked at them. And I've always subtly known this, but it's weird to see it in third person. To be like, oh, I know people I like being around that are like, ooh, that person's nice to be around. And I watch it back, I'm like, I don't do those things. And there's also the thing like, should I want to? Should I like change who I am? Can I change who I am to be more like this social ideal? I mean, maybe. Making an effort to like laugh more has been cool. I feel like a psychopath when I talk about that. I think it might be the mood stabilizers though, which is maybe a topic for another video. Taking stuff that helps keep me more normal. I'm normal. Stuff that keeps me from not going too high and not going too low. One of the results of which is that I don't really feel all that much. Like if someone says something funny, it usually has to be really funny for me to laugh. Or if I know someone's trying, I just don't give pity laughs. I don't know. Who knows, man? These are just, you're just getting a peek into the twisted mind of me, of Noah time. I also have noticed, like, looking in the camera is cool, but I like looking there. It's just at the wall. It feels more like I could look at it the whole time, but to me, this feels fine. Do you want to be stared at? Hello? Person on the phone, on the other end of the phone screen, do you want to be looked at in the eyes? You get the real Noah Samson experience, because I don't look in the eyes. But let's try it. Let's try it. I can. What's it like? Seeing me on your little phone screen. Are you having fun? Is this stimulating the stuff you need stimulated? I hope it is. I forewent my gym session to film this. So now I have to eat and then wait and then go to the gym. That's okay. I could also go on an empty stomach. I really do admire people that like read all the time and read a lot. When people say they're a voracious reader, or usually someone else is describing someone as a voracious reader. I really admire that. I would love someday for someone to describe me as that, but it doesn't seem like it's in the cards. I don't see that part of me changing, really ever. I don't know how to make myself intellectually curious, because I've come to terms recently with the fact that I'm kind of a bit of a himbo, and I don't like being put in positions where I'm supposed to be treated like I'm smart on specific topics, I suppose. Like self-deprecating stuff aside. Well, no, I don't want to set it aside just yet. No, I can't set it aside. I just mean I'd like to read more. Maybe when I turn 27 is the year that the frontal lobe will not only develop, but it'll click into book mode, where it'll say, book, you're a book boy now. Has that happened to any of you? Have any of you been able to, in your lives, start reading when you hadn't before and just read consistently for the rest of your life? I guess you haven't lived the rest of your life yet. God forbid you die before the end of this video. Knock on wood. But I don't know. That's probably enough yapping. I want to film some B-roll for this. Some beautiful, big, beautiful B-roll. Then head to the gym. Hope y'all are doing okay. The last video, I'm really happy with it. I think it turned out very, very pretty, and I liked the conversation around it, and I really appreciated everyone's input about their own feelings of shame. It was a very new experience. I hadn't seen that many people open up about something so personal, and I admire people being open about that, and I think it's really cool that there's a space here for that and a space here to support. So, closing message, if you're feeling shame, stop it. Knock it off. I like what one person wrote about it, or a few people, describing guilt as being like, oh, I did a bad thing, I feel guilty about that thing, versus shame being, I am bad. I am the badness of my actions. That's me. He's just like me, for real. And I like that distinction because it helps take away some of the burden of feeling like you are a bad person, an irreparably bad person. Doesn't feel good. I imagine. I've never felt like a bad person. It sounds like a you problem. Haha. Thought that was really cool. So thanks for that. And just genuinely, thanks for all the support on the channel. I really have been enjoying this. I needed this. No, but it's been cool. Much cooler than my first main channel, which I've grown to hate. But maybe one day I'm trying to work through that as well. So anyways, no time is over. Back to other time. See ya. We're gonna be